One freshman arrived at Ohio State as one of the most highly touted recruits in all of college football, and he became one of the most dominant and feared running backs for that season. And with his talents and ability on the field, he led the Ohio State Buckeyes to a national championship. Yet, in 2 years, he vanished. The other freshman arrived on campus with very little hype and fanfare, and barely saw the field early on in his career. Yet he remained patient and disciplined, and he eventually won the Heisman Trophy. Eventually, they both reached the National Football League, with their entire world in front of them. However, their life choices sent them down completely divergent paths. This is the story of Troy Smith and Maurice Clarett, a tale of two freshmen, and a powerful reminder that talent can open the door for you, but your character will determine how long you stay. College football just doesn't reveal talent, it reveals character. Some players shine immediately, overwhelmed by early success. Others develop slowly, preparing for that moment that no one else sees coming. In the early 2000s, Ohio State University recruited two players from the same class whose careers could have not unfolded more differently. One arrived as the most celebrated freshman in the country. The other arrived virtually unknown, buried on the depth chart. What separates their stories isn't just what happened on the field, it's how their choices after their success shaped everything that followed. Maurice Clarett was a phenomenon. He was the most coveted recruit in all of the nation. Powerful, explosive, confident, and expected to change the Ohio State football program immediately. From the moment that he stepped on campus, the spotlight followed him. Troy Smith, on the other hand, arrived quietly. An undersized quarterback from Glenville High School, Smith wasn't hyped. He wasn't even expected to play. In fact, most fans barely knew his name. Two freshmen, same program. One carrying expectations and the other carrying nothing but patience. The 2002 season for the Ohio State Buckeyes belongs specifically to Maurice Clarett. As a true freshman, he rushed for over 1,200 yards and scored 18 touchdowns and delivered a multitude of clutch moments for that season. For example, one of the most memorable moments that stands out to Buckeyes fans in the national championship against the Miami Hurricanes, their quarterback Craig Krenzel threw an untimely interception, and Maurice Clarett made a clutch play stripping the ball from the legendary defensive back Sean Taylor to regain possession. In addition to that, he scored the winning touchdown in double overtime to deliver a national championship to the Ohio State Buckeyes, and overnight, Maurice Clarett became a household name. At the same time, Troy Smith watched from the sidelines, buried deep on the depth chart at quarterback, learning quietly, absorbing everything while the spotlight shined elsewhere. While Maurice Clarett became a star, Troy Smith was becoming prepared. But success can be dangerous when it arrives too quickly. By 2003, cracks began to form in Maurice Clarett's foundation. Confidence started turning into ego. Discipline began to slip. A sideline confrontation with coaches during the Fiesta Bowl foreshadowed deeper issues with authority, accountability, and self-control. Soon, off-the-field problems followed. For example, an academic scandal, in addition to multiple team infractions. Maurice Clarett was soon suspended for his sophomore season. And just as quickly as he rose, his Ohio State career was over. The brightest star in college football burned out almost overnight. While Maurice Clarett unraveled after that magical 2002 national championship season, Troy Smith remained patient. He didn't complain, didn't transfer, and he didn't demand attention. He just waited for his opportunity. And when that opportunity finally arrived in 2005, Troy Smith just didn't step in. He took over. Smith became one of the most dangerous dual-threat quarterbacks in all of college football. Smart, accurate, mobile, and a true leader that defenses couldn't contain. That season, Troy Smith won a multitude of awards, including the AP College Football Player of the Year award, the Davey O'Brien, the Maxwell, and the coveted Heisman Trophy. The once overlooked recruit had become the face of Ohio State football, not through hype, but through preparation and discipline. Both players eventually reached the National Football League, but their professional stories reflected the same contrast that was seen in college. Despite the major character concerns, Maurice Clarett was drafted by the Denver Broncos in the 3rd round, purely based off of his potential, despite being out of football for 2 years after his dismissal from Ohio State. But the issues that haunted him in college followed him to the National Football League. He arrived to the Broncos training camp overweight, out of shape, and hiding a serious drinking problem. He never played a single down in the NFL after being released from training camp by the Denver Broncos. Maurice Clarett didn't fail because of lack of talent. He failed because he couldn't get out of his own way. Troy Smith, on the other hand, his NFL journey was different and frustrating in another way. He entered the league during an era obsessed with the prototypical pocket passer. Bigger quarterbacks with strong arms were prioritized. Even when they lacked production, players such as Brady Quinn and Jamarcus Russell were drafted ahead of Troy Smith, and both would flame out, as Jamarcus Russell would be one of the biggest draft busts in all of pro football. Troy Smith bounced around different teams, struggling to find an offensive system that truly fit his skill set. In a different era with offensive coordinators like those who later developed Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, Troy Smith's career might have looked very different. After football, their paths continued to diverge. Maurice Clarett's struggles continued to deepen, with legal trouble, substance abuse, and an armed robbery conviction that led to prison time. His story became one of the most sobering cautionary tales in college football history. But his story didn't end there. Clarett eventually embraced accountability, sought recovery, and reinvented himself as a motivational speaker, using his failures as lessons instead of excuses. Troy Smith, meanwhile, remains a hero within the Ohio State Buckeyes community, especially in his hometown of Glenville, Ohio. A Heisman Trophy winner, a leader, and a symbol of patience paying off. His legacy is secure. So tell me, what can we learn today from Maurice Clarett and Troy Smith? Early success without humility can even destroy the brightest star. And just because someone's success is delayed, that doesn't necessarily mean that success denied. Troy Smith's college career is a testament of how patience, preparation, and discipline can carry you further than any amount of talent, hype, or fanfare ever could. And Maurice Clarett reminds us of how quickly things can evaporate when you lack discipline and humility. Because in the end, our life choices are more important than our highlights, stats, and raw ability. I want to take a moment and thank you for watching another special edition of College Football Legends. And tell me your thoughts of the divergent paths of these two Ohio State legends in the comment section below. But more importantly, I want you to join our community of college football enthusiasts. And to do that, you need to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And remember, when you subscribe, not only are you joining our community of college football fans, you'll never miss an episode of College Football Legends. Until next time.